thanks so much. I know you're a busy man with family, but thanks so much for taking the time to jam with me here. I do these interviews on my YouTube channel to just interview inspiring people that I know, just about your journey, your experience, what gems or wisdom you have to share with others. And it's also to share and gain exposure more and more for the coaching practice that I'm doing, and that's focused on mental sharpness, mental clarity, how to overcome your own personal problems on the way to your goals, on the way to achieving your goals.
Take my shirt.
Looks good. It's inspiring. That's even more inspiring. So yeah, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. We just got done with our protein practice for the day. So it's good getting back into shape, kind of pre-camp, hopefully be fighting in May or June. So just kind of, like I said, kind of pre-camping it, helping some of the other guys get ready, coaching, combination of coaching and training right now. So it's fun.
That's rad, dude. Yeah. And May and June, that's right around the corner too. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm ready to get the call here soon, hopefully, and put in a camp, 6 to 8 week camp, and knock it out.
That's awesome, man. Well, for people that will be watching this interview, maybe people that don't know you, folks, this is Ed Herman. He's been fighting in the UFC, one of the most well-known MMA fighters in the UFC for, gosh, what is he going on now? Like 15 years. Good friend of mine, teammate of mine. Yeah, stoked to just jam with you here today. So you've been fighting for a long time now. What are some of the main challenges that you've dealt with as a professional competitive athlete, and what are the main things that have helped you overcome those challenges?
A lot of things over the years, right? From injury to, staying competitive and winning to be able to stay in the big leagues. Life, man. Like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years, so my life evolves around this, whether it's coaching or training. It's just kind of what I do. So I've had to adapt a lot of times to different things, and staying healthy at this age is probably the most important thing, so that I can continue to compete.
What are some of the main things that have helped you adapt? Are there any practices or things that you've done specifically to help yourself adapt when you needed to?
Just as you get older, you have to be smarter. I think in general, as the sport has progressed, people are learning how to train smarter and not beat themselves up so bad. Taking the recovery seriously, just as serious as your training, making sure you're sleeping enough, getting your, chiropractic, massage therapy, physical therapy, whatever you need to do, taking care of injuries. So I think just the last 10 years, especially the last 5, I've really, really tried to make that a huge part of my daily process is staying healthy, figuring out ways to stay healthy. And just mentally too, being able to stay in this game is hard mentally sometimes with the ups and downs. So you got to really put in a lot of work there. We've obviously worked together a little bit with some of that. And, that's something that you understand. And so that's a huge piece of it too.
Right. And I can only imagine, like you said, being able to stay competitive and stay in the big leagues for a long period of time, how obviously not only physically challenging that is, but how actually mentally taxing and mentally challenging that is, to have that mental grit to keep getting that back in there, evolving and adapting. I can only imagine how challenging that is and how much strength you've probably developed over the years just by doing that, making that choice to keep coming back, and then doing well. Like right now you're on a 3-fight win streak, right?
Yeah.
That's so rad, dude.
Yeah, I'm stoked. And yeah, that's a combination of everything, right? The hard work from myself and my staff, my coaching staff is a huge part of it. Not just my staff, but all my training partners at the gym and my family, everybody's got to be on board. But that mental aspect is huge, because you see a lot of guys who have all the physical tools who can't put it together mentally, in the beginning of their career, let alone the end of their career, coming back from losses and injuries, coming in the room and getting your ass kicked by animals like Austin Vanderford and all these young lions. It's sometimes it can be, it can be hard on you, and you're taking whoopings every day in a sense. Trying to keep up with these young guys, not just whoopings, but just keeping up with their pace and their working pace. Austin's a special person, a little bit, with his work ethic and everything, obviously. But just in general, these young lions, I see him, cruising down the mat, nice and smooth as the old lion comes limping in. But I still get mine. You know what I mean? I still get mine, and I still perform in the cage, and that's the most important.
Hell yeah, man. That's not easy to be able to. It's one thing to be able to have good technique, to know how to fight, to know how to train well, but then to also perform well in front of a huge crowd of people. That's like a whole nother thing. What are some things you've done to help yourself be able to perform well on stage, in the cage, in front of thousands and thousands of people?
Well, it's kind of funny because I feel comfortable more now with a big crowd. Like my last fight with no crowd, that was a really weird feeling. I didn't like the energy. Maybe it was just a off night for me too, but I really feed off the crowd. So it's not the crowd that makes me nervous. I think it's everything leading up to it, and the pressure you put on yourself. You put all this work in time and energy and just, dedication into one fight. You put months and months, if not longer, into. And so you put that on yourself financially, whether it's, all your friends watching, or your family, or business wise, and in your career too. When you win, you make more money, bottom line. You move up the rankings. If you don't win, you go home. And that's kind of the way the business is cutthroat. So you got to get past that mentally and kind of say, what's the worst thing that can happen to me? I've already lost before. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. You're more just that fear of losing, I think, is what most guys struggle with, that anxiety of losing. And it's not necessarily in front of people. I think it's an inner battle for everybody there. If you can shut that part off and just enjoy the moment, that's kind of what I'm trying to do, man. You never know when it's going to be your last. So I'm enjoying my time while I'm here, and I'm healthy. So that's helped me a lot. Stay relaxed when I'm getting ready to fight.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really awesome. And that's cool what you say about the crowd. I know for myself, when I haven't competed on nearly the stage that you have, but just competing in front of a crowd, say it's Submission Underground or something, it's like it does get to me a little bit. So I think everyone's a little bit different there in where the nerves come in. You're saying you really feed off of the crowd, and even you saying that helps me think like how I can shift on feeding off of the crowd rather than feeling weird or feeling nervous because I have all the eyes on me. So that's a cool perspective. As you mentioned a while ago, we did a couple sessions before one of your fights. And could you just share what did you feel like were some of the main benefits you got from that mental preparation session that we did, or those two sessions that we did?
So it was kind of cool, because it was kind of putting some of the things together that I've already tried to use, where you're kind of tunnel vision, and you're pushing all those negative thoughts out, and they're gonna bounce off your force field in a sense. You want to, instead of letting them kind of penetrate into your bubble, you kind of just go along through life, and all these negative things are coming at you, and they just kind of bounce off your force field. In a sense, you think of it like that, because when you're getting ready for a competition, every negative thought goes through your head. What if this happens? What if I lose? What if I fucking slip on the stairs? It's just, you know what I mean? Just every negative thought can come into your head possible, I feel like, and just doubt, self-doubt. Everybody goes through that. So you have to be in your tunnel, and see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, in a sense of that's where you're going. That's where your eyes on the prize down there, and all the other shit doesn't matter.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
That's kind of what I got of our session, and again, just kind of, I can still picture that tunnel sometimes. I remember us talking about that a little bit, and those are just staying that mental clarity, not letting anything break that. And when those thoughts start to creep in, you just push them out. You know what I mean? It's like in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yep. Have you been feeling like in your last 3 fights, have you been feeling really mentally sharp? You mentioned that you've been feeling really good going into your fights.
I've had a good mental clarity where, I'm trying to just, take the positives out of it and not make it a negative experience. Because I don't want to look at the end of my career. I was miserable all the time and nervous, which you're going to be nervous and you're going to be a little bit miserable. This isn't an easy career path. So trying to enjoy those moments so I can look back and think about the fun times and not just being miserable, sick to your stomach, nervous. That can kill you, and you can lose the fight before you get in there.
Yeah, dude, I've been impressed with you by the way that you're navigating, sort of the later phase of your career, because you're winning fights, you're focused on your health, you have a positive attitude. I see you're in the gym consistently. I see you there all the time. I've seen other guys near the end of their career kind of struggling, losing, just trying to get the win, trying to they just want that feeling, not taking great care of themselves, but you're doing the opposite. It's really awesome to see. So that's cool.
Right on, brother.
One thing that's when I reflect on I grew up in Seattle, and I was training I trained for about 8 years in Seattle. And then I moved down to Portland from Seattle, came to when it was Gracie Baja Portland, when our gym was Gracie Baja Portland.
Yeah.
And it was cool because then I got to see, you there, Cheo, Fabiano, all these guys. And you guys were the really well-known guys right when I first started training. Right? It was like back in 2006 is when I started training, when UFC was getting bigger and all you guys were becoming more and more well-known. And I remember watching you on The Ultimate Fighter, and you were one of my favorite guys that I watched on The Ultimate Fighter. It was
Don't
awesome.
lie. Everybody hated me. Don't lie.
No way, dude. From the start. No, I loved it. Short fuse. Yeah, it was awesome. Your nickname was awesome. And I remember you being one of my favorite fighters on The Ultimate Fighter. And then it was cool coming into the gym and started training at the gym, meeting you guys. You guys were super cool. And then it was sort of like a pivotal moment for me where I was like, shoot, man. And you were taking one of my classes. And I was like, dang, man. I remember I was like 18 years old, just started training, watching an Ultimate Fighter, and here you are taking one of my classes. And that was a really cool kind of moment for me. And now, it's awesome. We're just part of the same team and part of a really badass, amazing team.
You are a great coach, and you are, a great black belt. If people don't know, Andrew is a black belt here. So he knows what the hell he's talking about. But of course, man, you're a great coach, and I love taking your classes, and it's always great. You're an amazing fundamentals coach. It's so fun to watch you teach the people who are coming in new and making them feel comfortable. You have an amazing knack of doing that. I feel like not only are you a good advanced coach as well, but just to see you work with the new students is pretty amazing how comfortable you make them feel. And that's, kind of what jiu-jitsu is all about is for us is the lifestyle, coming into the gym, making your life better, trying to make a positive effect on other people in the gym. That's how I started. I started just to stay out of trouble and have positive things around me. And so we're doing that now for the younger generation. And
exactly.
Pretty cool to be a part of that, both of us.
Like you said, jiu-jitsu as a lifestyle, right? So, yeah.
Or in general, what we do is a lifestyle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I appreciate, what you just said. I really appreciate that. So, what do you got? So you're working on this fight coming up. Do you have any other plans for do you plan to Like, do you want to be competing for a while longer? Or are you just like focusing on this one fight right now, and then you'll think about more later?
I'm kind of just taking it one at a time right now, but I'd like to keep going. I feel like I'm still competitive. I still feel like I can still, get my hand raised in the big show. So I'm going to keep doing that. You're not going to see me fight more than once or twice a year. But if I can do that for the next 2 or 3 years, I'm going to be pretty happy about that. I'm going to keep trying, and what's going to happen. Things happen fast when you get a couple big wins. So I'm going to keep doing it while I can. The money's finally decent now after all these freaking years, so it's hard to walk away from the money, honestly, too.
And you've put in the time too. You really put in the time.
I know. But I'm really focusing a lot on coaching too, and transitioning into doing that full time when I'm done fighting. I've had some other ideas for a while, fire departments and different things, but I don't want to leave the trade that I've been in the last 20 years if I don't have to. So if I can stay involved, we're really growing the team here in the gym and putting something I wasn't sure I'd be able to do before. So I'm pretty excited for the way the gym's going, the future of our gym. We're growing all the time. We're bringing in great new fighters, new coaches. It's something happening here that I didn't know we could do. I knew we could do it, but I didn't know if we'd be able to. And it's really cool to see what's happening out here.
Yeah, we have an awesome team, and you're a great coach, man. I see you in there, the way you work with guys, the way you're just like, no bullshit, keep them on track, but you also like coach them really well. Technically, I think you just know how to work with guys really well, especially because of you have so much experience, so many years of experience.
Well, I learned how to coach under the great Robert Follis too, as well as all the other great coaches I've worked with. I've worked with some of the best guys in the world, from the beginning of my career with Matt Lindland and Randy Couture as my coaches, Robert Follis, not to mention the other great talent that was at Team Quest back in the day. And then my time in Colorado, I got to work with Trevor Whitman and Jake Ramos, who are some of the, outstanding stand-up coaches out of Colorado there, as well as, like Elliot Marshall and some other really talented guys in Colorado. And then coming back here and hooking back up with Fabiano Scherner, who's been my jiu-jitsu coach since 2006. So I've really been lucky to train with some of the best guys in the world, and not only for my skills as a fighter, but for the future of my coaching, career. I feel like I've been able to learn from just some of the best, man. And I'm going to continue to be a student of the game always. Like you said, man, I'm jumping in your class. I'll take info anywhere I can get it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Always being, I think a great teacher is someone who's always willing to be a student as well till the day we die. Yeah, that's cool. And you trained with Elliot. I've seen Elliot Marshall. I've seen some of his videos online, promoting his book and just doing good work. I think it's the same Elliot Marshall that you're referring to.
Yeah, the fire marshal out of
Fire Marshal. Yeah,
I think that's his nickname. He fought in the UFC a bunch and was on the Ultimate Fighter. Really, really good jiu-jitsu and MMA coach out in Colorado. He's part of the Easton Jiu-Jitsu clan out there, and amazing group of guys out there. So I enjoyed my time out there.
That's really cool. Really cool, man. So, yeah, I mean, I think we kind of just covered our bases here. We just covered a lot. Yeah. Again, appreciate you taking the time, showing off your muscles for the camera. Yeah, it's good.
I've been in the gym lifting more than I've ever been able to in my career, because fighting at 185 all those years, I was worried about putting on weight. I was cutting a lot of weight, and I didn't have the opportunity to lift. Now that I've gone up to light heavyweight, and I'm on the smaller side of the light heavyweight class, I've been really lifting hard for the first time, and it feels good to put on some good muscle, and I feel strong, and I think it's going to help me prevent injury and a lot of things. So I'm excited to get in there again and see how I feel.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's probably cool to not have to worry about weight. You can just lift and feel strong, feel stable.
Yep, absolutely. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest light heavyweight, but I'm coming in there without having to cut much. So I feel really good, better than I've ever been able to feel, I think. And I'm a little bigger now too, so I'll cut a little bit this time, but not enough to mess with me.
That's rad, Ed. Well, as always, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for the inspiration, just as you embody that strength day in and day out to do what you do. Like you said, it's not always fun. Doesn't always feel good, but stay the course.
Right on, buddy. We'll see you in the gym when you get back in town.
Right on, bro. Hey, thanks for watching this interview. I hope you feel uplifted and inspired by what was shared. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel to make sure that you see all the other awesome videos that we have coming up.